And Mark, it's time to close out the podcast talking about the Houston Texans. And one last time, I will tell you guys, make sure to go over to twitch.tv/mostvaluable podcast. If you have an Amazon Prime account, Twitch Prime account, make sure to go over and throw your free sub. If you're not using it, throw your free sub at Most Valuable Podcast. It's just free money that Amazon gives you to throw at a creator. We're building that up, going to have special things for subs in the future. So want to throw that out there. You want to sub to MVP on Twitch, you can now do so. Link down below. But Mark, the Houston Texans, this was the division winner from last year, although their season did not end like they wanted it to. A loss to the Colts in the playoffs. This is a team offensively that was not quite as good as the Colts, but not as bad as the Jags and Titans. 15th overall in yards per game, 362. 11th in scoring, 25.1. Defensively, yards per game, they were the worst, 12th in the league with 343. But they were a top 4 in defensive points per game, tied with the Jaguars, 19.8, being that stingy defense. When it comes to free agency, they franchise tagged Jadeveon Clowney. They signed guys like Darren Fells, Tashawn Gibson, Matt Khalil, offensive tackle, A.J. McCarron, Brandon Robley, and then Braden Bobby Calhoun. So not a huge free agency of, hey, we're going to bring in the biggest of names. My question for you to start this one is, what should the expectations be for the Texans this season? Because Deshaun Watson, probably in his first year, I want to say, this year, I don't think he's played a full season. This was his first full season? Yeah, first full season because year one he was injured. What should the expectations be? Because this was a team that won the division, lost in the wild card. Should they expect the same? Is this a team that wins the division and makes some noise in the playoffs this year? What are you thinking?
I think this team has to make some noise in the playoffs. Deshaun Watson, like you said, he's got his first full season last year. Did really well, 68% for 4,100, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He did really, really well. But when you look at this team, and you see guys like DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller. You see Deshaun Watson, we just talked about, Lamar Miller. You got Donta Foreman out there. They have a really stacked defense. I mean, when you got guys like J.J. Watt, Merciless, you've got Zach Cunningham, Jadeveon Clowney. You are stacked defensively, and you've got such a good offensive team. And I sit here and I say, all right, Bill O'Brien potentially is going to inherit some power. He's going to potentially inherit player personnel because they don't have a GM right now. They kind of lost that one to the Patriots. This is a team now. Bill O'Brien in his 6th season too, where I'm not saying he's on the hot seat, but if he inherits some of this GM power as well, which looks like he's probably going to do. They need to make some noise in the playoffs.
They do.
They need to really prove that this team that has been so stacked for a long time, they've got this really good quarterback who had his first healthy year, hoping for healthy year number 2. They got to go out there and they got to prove themselves, and they've got the easy schedule to do it. It's not super easy because they're, in the AFC South, but they've got an easier schedule than most, I'd say, in some respects. They need to go out there and prove themselves. They need to win a playoff game. They need to get towards that AFC championship game. They need to prove that they are a real team here. I'm not saying they need to go to the Super Bowl because Patriots still exist, but they need to be a team that's competing and right there in the conversation.
For me, I think, is this team set up this year to be 10-6, 11-5, losing the first round? And the reason why I say that...
I think it depends on injuries.
The reason why I say that is basically like last year you lose to the Colts in the wild card. 2015, you lose to the Chiefs in the wild card where they blanked you 30-0 on your home field. And I know Deshaun Watson wasn't playing. That was the Brandon Weeden Brian Hoyer days, not the Deshaun Watson ones that we were used to the last 2 seasons, and that was really Deshaun Watson's first playoff experience in the NFL. For me, I'm not going to go on the limb. I almost went on the limb and was like, hey, you know what? Bill O'Brien might be on the hot seat after this year. But the thing I think we got to start thinking with the Texans is what should be Bill O'Brien's story if they win the division and lose in the first game. So let's say they win the division and they're 3-4. They're not a first-round bye team. If they lose in the wild card round, what should be that story? Is it something where, hey, we went 11-5, you get a free pass? Mm-hmm. Or is it eventually, and I had to look up Marvin Lewis because I forgot that I thought he won a playoff game, but no, he didn't. 0-7 in his playoffs, so at least O'Brien's got that on a Marvin Lewis. But, I almost wonder if then Houston at that point, would they be setting themselves up to be the new Cincinnati Bengals, where it's like, hey, we'll make the playoffs, but man, winning that first game, that is tough.
Tough. I always say, the question becomes, when is enough enough? Mm-hmm. And this is only year 6 for O'Brien. They finally got their quarterback. They finally got that worked out. They're hopefully going to protect him. I mean, they tried to make some progress in protecting Deshaun Watson in year 2. Now they drafted 2 offensive tackles in the draft this year.
I was shocked when they took Titus Howard as high as they did.
They desperately need offensive line help, is what it comes down to. Need to keep him healthy. Deshaun Watson's got all the tools he needs to be an incredible quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He's got all the weapons he could possibly ask for. He's got an amazing defense. They need to be healthy is really what it comes down to. They just need to be able to stay healthy. If they can't do that, they're really going to struggle. And this team is a team that's been set up for success for years now. And they need to finally prove it to us. Just like I was saying with the Tennessee Titans, how that offense has, we kept saying, this is the year where they're finally going to show us who the Tennessee Titans are.
Yeah.
And then they don't. And we can't have that with the Houston Texans as well.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing that I kind of lean on too, and this is a question of, and I know it's injuries and health, and it's no one can predict the future, but last year, DeAndre Hopkins was healthy all year. Thank God, knock on wood, he was on my fantasy team, racking in huge receptions and catches for us, or for me, I should say, for us, the fantasy team. But Will Fuller, 7 games. Kiki Cutie, 7 games. Where it's can all 3 of these guys be healthy?
And then you look at the defense.
Yeah.
With their injuries, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the issue for the Texans constantly. And I don't know, maybe it's just that it's hot in Texas. But these guys just can't stay healthy. They can't stay on the field. Mm-hmm. And that's going to burn you every single time. And that's going to, unfortunately, end careers, too. I mean, you look at a guy like RG3, who had an amazing rookie year, gets hurt, and he was never the same again. You look at that, and we were just talking about in this division, Marcus Mariota, a guy who keeps getting hurt at the end of his years. Ryan Tannehill's on the same team, a guy who had been getting hurt recently. That just ends careers. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of these guys where we constantly are talking about with J.J. Watt now. He should probably just retire because he keeps getting hurt. And J.J. Watt is a phenomenal player, probably a Hall of Fame player, and we're all sitting there saying he should just retire because he keeps getting hurt. This team needs to strike while the iron is hot because it's not going to be hot for that much longer.
Yeah, we always talk about with teams when that window's open, you got to strike. And this window might be open, but it may be open a crack because of an injury could shut that window.
And eventually you start paying people.
Exactly. And the thing that does not help, we talk about the different schedules, and the thing that does not help to me, the Texans in the schedule, is 2 things. Number 1, this is the small one. Ravens and New England. Those are the 2 opponents that are not like everyone else's. Mm-hmm. You get the division leaders in both of those divisions.
And you really wish it was the opposite. Like, if you could go to New England, because there's a good chance you'll lose that game no matter whatever. But I'm not huge on Baltimore, but the fact that you're going to Baltimore to play their defense, that's going to be very difficult.
Good thing is you're coming off a bye, though.
Yeah.
So you have that extra week to kind of prepare. But the thing that I hate the most is that schedule beforehand. Saints, Jacksonville, LA, Carolina, all in your first 4. Then Atlanta, we'll see what we get from them. They could be a tough team.
Yep.
And then in the next 4, it's Oakland's your easy opponent. But before that, KC and Indy on the road, Jacksonville and London. So it's like, oh man, that beginning of the year.
Yeah.
It's almost like if we can get through the first 9 at even 5-4, we have a chance.
Yeah.
Because like the rest of the schedule, Denver could be a win for them. I expect one of the Tennessee games to be a win, if not both of them, if they're fully healthy. This is a team that might have to go, like 5-4 might be hey, if we want a chance to stay alive, it's 5-4. But if we want a real chance, we might have to go 6-2, 7-3 in those first 9.
And it's going to be tough.
7-2.
It's going to be tough too, because I mean, like you said, this team gets injured pretty much every year. They can't have that again. They need to be a healthy team. They need full strength, and they need full strength going into the playoffs. You can't go and get bounced again. Go in there, be strong, make some noise, hopefully get a first-round bye, and make it easy on yourself to get to the AFC Championship game.
And the good thing is if they do take care of business, though, early on in the schedule, because of who they've got later, like, if it was me, let's say Houston miraculously locks up the division after week 15.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, okay, Deshaun and the starters, you're going to play the first half of week 16, take the second half off. All right, you'll start the Tennessee game, get a few drives. All right, take you out. I don't want you getting injured. To where it's like, you could almost take that last game. Like, the last 2 might be a stretch, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if they lock up the division week 15 or week 16. If week 17, it's like, hey, guys, you're not playing. Because we usually get injured, and I need you next week.
Yeah, it's totally possible. It's going to be a tough one. They are a team that has consistently gotten injured, as I said before. But on paper, they're a Super Bowl contender. Even with the injuries, they still have competed really tough, and they still have done well.
Even with the schedule. Do you think I'm over-harping how tough the beginning of their schedule is?
No, I don't think so. You're playing playoff team, Jaguars, but playoff team, 2 teams that could possibly be going to the playoffs this year if they played like they had 2 years before. But that's the thing, even with the Jacksonville Jaguars, once again, 2 years before they were a playoff team. You have so many teams that are really challenging, really tough, that I don't think you're over-harping it at all. I think that it's just the reality of it for the whole division is they have a very difficult time because they have to play the NFC West, which had multiple playoff teams. They got to play their own team
this year again.
Yeah, exactly that. Their own division had multiple playoff teams last year. So you're playing so many of these playoff teams. It just makes it challenging.
Yeah, and I almost sit there and I think when it comes to the standings, like I almost want to say, and this goes with anybody who wins this division wins the division from this division.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, but you know what I'm saying. Like anybody who wins this division, the best you can, in my mind, the best you could get is the 3rd seed. Because like, let's say Houston wins it again. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, well, you tied with the Patriots, but the Patriots beat you, so they're going to be the 2 seed. You're going to be the 3 seed.
Could be.
I almost feel like Chiefs and Patriots are locked to be number 1 and number 2 in the AFC.
Maybe. I mean, it's going to be tough to be a number 2 seed or 1 seed when you're playing your division, which is really tough. But the Chiefs division is really tough too.
Yeah, and I mean, the big one there is Oakland and Denver. What are we going to see from them this season? Anything with the Texans you think that we missed out on that we should ask?
All I want to say is let's just please protect your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, especially like Deshaun Watson. I almost said Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, who was injured in college, injured first year in the NFL. Like, once you get those recurring injuries, usually
they don't stop.
It becomes a history. But Texan fans, let us know what you guys are thinking down below in that comment section. Is this a team that should be the favorite for the South? Colts are coming for you. Jags are coming for you. Titans at 9-7 last year.
They're still there.
A bad team. Like, this could be the toughest division. Like, you know how they say, like, pound for pound in, like, UFC and fighting? Like, this could be the toughest division pound for pound, where basically what I mean by that is, just like last year, division winner is 11-5, and this year maybe the last place is like 7-9, 8-8, compared to what it was last year at 5-11. I don't think we have a team. I'd be shocked if we have a team 6-10 or below in this division, unless they just get decimated by injuries. But let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Make sure to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/mostvaluable-podcast. I want to thank our patrons for their support. Discord is always bouncing. You can get into that for as low as $1. Check out those rewards in the description below. Make sure to follow us on Twitch. Give us a sub on Twitch. Make sure to review and rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts. It really means the world to us. Every 5-star rating helps us get into the ears of more people. Want to thank the Mark Weber for joining me as usual. I'm at Ricky Widmer. Most Valuable Podcast is at Most Valuable Pod. And as always, have a good day, everybody.